What's going on YouTube? Modeling that back at you. So just going to do a quick overview video here of the progress before I get the decals on. So stick around, there'll be a second mini part to this as well. So went through tonight and touched in all of the paint work around the walks. So these were done with a Tamiya X1 mixed with a little bit of XF69 NATO Black, and then dry brushed with Model Master Magnesium, just to kind of give that dull, dark metal look. So I got that done on both sides. This side I went ahead and weathered a little bit deeper, having a few spots of the original paint color kind of bleed through in areas. So just kind of showing different levels of wear around areas that there would be some additional wear and stuff like that. So overall, the paint job is now complete. Did a final bit of touch-up work with some stuff where it kind of bled through and stuff like that. So gonna give it the day or so here to dry. Also did the front of the nose here in Vallejo flat black or matte black. So that was just hand brushed on. So yeah, gonna go through, like I said, now get ready to get the decals all put on. As you can see, got those cut out here to the side, so we'll be getting those on next. So the next time you see this bird, she will have all of her markings. See what's going on YouTube, modeling that back at you here with part 2. So as you can see, we got some of the decals on. Didn't get as much as I wanted done through the holiday weekend here, just with some other stuff that had going on with the bitter cold and stuff like that, so just wasn't able to get as much done, like I said, as I originally wanted to, but I did want to do kind of a show around. The wing insignias, those are actually doubled up on both sides, just to get a solid color. I will say, if you're using Mr. Mark softeners, make sure to be careful, as it will actually cause the paint to bleed or the color to come off, leaving little white specks into them. I can kind of see them on this one when you catch it in the right light. But overall, looks pretty good. Got the number 9s on the top of the wings here, and then also the prop line here on the float, the center float. The rear tail was originally going to use the decals. However, after I got them masked off the first time, or got them laid down the first time, they just didn't look good. They just look like trash. So what I went ahead and did was came back in and masked this off. So that was actually sprayed onto it tonight, which I think looks really well. Again, lines aren't 100% crisp, which again, if you go back to the original aircraft, I doubt they would have been razor sharp as well. There would have been just light little variations and stuff like that. Get back though 10-15 feet. You know, one of the famous photos of this exact aircraft is about from this perspective right here. So again, fits the part beautifully. But also have the main insignias on the underside of the wings. Hold that out where you can see them. So I got that one. And this one up here. This one I went ahead and actually just laid down a second decal on the top of tonight. First one just didn't turn out quite right, didn't look as well, so glad that this set had some extra 40-inch markings, so it actually allowed me to do this. So yeah, but next thing that have kind of going down tonight, or not tonight, but tomorrow, is going to be getting the rest of the markings here on the side and stuff like that, getting the decals all finished up. Probably I'll give it the rest of the night then to just dry, seal in, bed in, stuff like that, and then we'll go through and get a clear flat coat onto this, and then come in with some weathering, get this thing up on the gear, prop installed, rigging done, and by next weekend, which of the time of this recording, next weekend is New Year's weekend, I should definitely have this done. So in some ways, kind of sad seeing it come to an end, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting into some of my NASCAR builds into next year. So if you're more here for the auto kits, definitely stick around for those. But next part that you'll see here in just a moment is going to be the aircraft all decaled up, and most likely I'll have the clear coat on it when I do the next little video, just to show you the progress there. So yep, so we'll be right back with that. See you in a minute. Alright, modeling that back here. So at this point we have all of the decals on that's going to be applied. Looked through all of the reference documentation that I could on these aircraft and couldn't really find much in the way of stencil data information. So if anybody knows what the stencil data should be or where it should be, definitely post it out for other modelers, just in future, so that they can build this aircraft up maybe with a little bit more realism than what I was able to do on my builds. So at this point, have pretty much everything ready to go. Just going to come in with a little bit of water, get a couple of the little fibers off from the cotton buds that I used to just roll out the water. But really, all the numbers went on fine. Obviously, just be careful. The nice thing with the insignia markings is you do have a couple of extras, um, but yeah, obviously you don't with those. Tail markings for the OS2U -3 and the actual serial number of the aircraft here on the tail. Those went on just fine. No real problems there. The only thing that really kind of stunk was the gray line or the marcation line here on this bar. That wasn't really a decal in and of itself. What I had to do, or what I did, was I took one of the long strips here and basically held it up, cut it down, and then angled each end to more fit that line. But I think in the end it came out well, but it was just kind of annoying that you didn't really have something for that specifically to go ahead and get that in and stuff like that. So go ahead and carefully lift it up here. Show you the underside. So we have, let me tip you up here. Focus. So underside, as you can see, all good there. So get it nicely. Mess anything up with the markings. Of course, when I was trying to get a little bit of the hairs off here, a nail cut and ripped the decal, so had to correct the 5. But again, if I hadn't told you that, you probably would have never noticed. So, yeah, just Posca pen for the win on that one. So, gonna give these another night just to kind of cure, go off, make sure everything's good here, and then I will be getting clear coat on this. Just a flat coat, dull down all of the decals, neutralize everything, and then I'll come in with some weathering. Not too much, because again, all of the reference photos from Life magazine had the bird, a little bit on the cleaner side. There was a little bit of oil staining on the cowling that I'll try to mimic and stuff like that. But overall, not too bad. On the propeller, went ahead and decided to paint that, so went with insignia blue. Looking at the decal after the fact, I would actually say if you're spraying this, go ahead and do a dark sea blue, just for the blue color, as it's just a little bit brighter than insignia blue is. But in either case, I think it works in this for me on this build. Really looks good with the red tip and the yellow, which is, if you want to know a good yellow for the tips, maize yellow from AK. That is pretty much a dead on for that. So, at least in my opinion, it is. If you get a silver base underneath it, you can really get a bright yellow and stuff like that with some of the more modern aircraft. But any of the ones that I've seen that is more period, they haven't been rebuilt or redone. Usually it is more of a darker yellow for that insignia, or for that marking. So yeah. So once I get that done, like I said, get the clear coat on it. then going to go ahead, get it onto the gear, which is basically just sitting off to the side, ready to go. Just in case if you hadn't seen it, here's the tires. Again, reference photos, had a glossy black center hub with just the rubber black, so went ahead and mimicked that as well. And then got the bombs ready to go on. We'll probably put those on last, just for, they're going to probably be the cleanest thing on this thing. So yeah, other than that, hope you guys have enjoyed a little bit longer video this time, just kind of looping things together. Definitely let me know if you guys would rather see, fewer videos, longer parts, or if you'd rather see shorter parts and more videos. So post that up in the comments below, and I'll try to accommodate what seems to be the popular choice. In either case, I'll catch you later. Peace. What's going on, YouTube? Modeling that back at you. A little bit of a bonus episode here, or a bonus portion to the video. Hopefully you guys stuck around to catch this, as there's going to be quite a bit of good info on this. So, as you can see, got her on her gear now. Went ahead, I'll use this paintbrush just to kind of point things out. So went ahead, got the gear on, just lightly touched that in. I got the propeller in. I am going to have to touch up the paint on the front of the housing, as that got kind of damaged. Also, of course, as I was dealing with the glue, that happened to touch the prop here. So I'm going to come in and just retouching the black mixed with the NATO gray, just to retouch that in, just to get rid of that because it looks pretty atrocious. As you can see, I do have the supports. Again, these are not anything that was provided within the kit. What I actually used for this is some old either Cat 4 or early Cat 5 cable that's solid core. So if you look for solid core networking wire, you can strip it out into the individual pieces, strip off the sheathing, and you get this nice little brass wire. Straighten it out, and that's what I use to make the supports. When I first got this built, as you can see, it still kind of has a little bit of a shimmy and a shake when you touch it, but to be honest, that is 1,000 times more stable than what she was without those supports. So they actually, work kind of as intended for the aircraft. So yeah, at this point, also got a clear coat down onto everything, so everything is embedded in. You can see really nice uniform sheen across it. How I did that was a 50-50 mix of rapid thinners from Mr. Color mixed with 50% X20A, and then a 50-50 mix of XF86, which is back here, and X22 clear gloss. So it's more of a semi-gloss kind of sheen, but it actually looks beautiful. I think this is going to take a wash really nicely. So yeah, just excited to see how this comes out with the weathering side of things and stuff like that. So so yeah, at this point, like I said, got the struts in. The other thing that was kind of annoying with the kit itself is it does not come with the little tiny piece. I'm not going to be able to try to get it to where you can see it. Basically, if you look right here on the rudder itself, the actual aircraft had a part that attached to the rudder, and then there was rigging line that came up here, went in and up and around to actually control the rudder when it was in the water. And so these parts here were plastic. They were atrocious, way too out of scale. Or actually, I correct that. I think they were photo etched, but they didn't look right. Like, once you got them bent, they just looked just didn't look as full as they should have, given that it's, bringing in the cable and everything like that. So I made this out of a little bit of 10 thousandths by 30 thousandths styrene. Went ahead and also cut a small strip of that and put it on top of the rudder. So once I get the weathering down, I'll go through, and get these here. The other thing that I got done tonight, and is now in the drying phase, is all of the clear parts. Try to get this to lock in if it can. So I got the reds. All of this is Tamiya. Basically X27 for the red, X25 for the green, and X24 for the yellow. And then on the back side, I just put a little Molotow, brush painted that onto the back, just really thick to give it that illusion of the reflective part, as there actually is no solid under basing on quite a few of these lights. So before I do the weathering, I'm going to get the lights on, so that'll be tomorrow night's project. And then once I get that, I'll go ahead and get the canopies unmasked, machine guns in, get the canopies back on in their final position, rig this thing up, get all the rigging done, which I'm going to run the tail line for the radio and stuff like that, just to get this thing finished on out. So definitely will be done in actuality by the new year, but we'll probably be getting the final part up to you guys right after the new year on the 3rd, and then I'm into my NASCAR build kind of year, celebrating the 75th anniversary of NASCAR. So yeah, just wanted to, like I said, get you guys up to speed with this. Again, as a little bit of a bonus feature here at the end of the video. So hopefully you guys liked that additional bit. Again, like, comment, subscribe. If you know anybody who likes the content, definitely send the links over and stuff like that. So channel's been kind of growing and then come stagnant here over the last few weeks. So like I said, anybody who you know would enjoy this content, definitely feel free to share it. In either case, I will catch you in the next one. Peace.